Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, August 28th, 2021. The fire potential impacts for the next couple of days are shown here. We're mainly highlighting the smoke across Nevada and into much of Utah for the next couple of days, and then we're also expecting some winds to pick up along the Sierra Front on Sunday and expanding a little bit further east and north into much of western Nevada on Monday. By Tuesday, we'll see some isolated storms. On Monday they'll return to the very far south, but on Tuesday we'll see a stronger surge of moisture up into mainly Utah. Smoke forecast for this afternoon at the surface here shows some smoke in place over Nevada and into central Utah. On Sunday, some of that should start to clear out from the south in Utah, but smoke will remain in place over Nevada. Same story at the upper levels, smoke in place over Nevada and Utah. On Sunday, we'll see some of that smoke move up into Idaho as well. The past 24 hours of lightning and precipitation is shown here. We had a pretty clear day yesterday with no precip or thunderstorms. Recent initial attack activity shown on this map. Some initial attack fires continue to pop up over southeast Utah with light IA elsewhere in the region. Precip for the past 7 days is shown on this image with the inches on the left and the percent of normal on the right. It's been a fairly dry week relative to what we have seen, especially in Utah, but we did see some storms over the central Idaho mountains and then there over eastern Idaho, western Wyoming, and far northern Utah. But still very dry over Nevada and southern Utah. The ERCs are on the upward trend across the geographic area, with most values below the 50th percentile in Utah, although those are on the increase with the warm and dry air mass moving in over the next couple of days. And that'll be the case everywhere across the geographic area. We'll see these values continue to rise, at least into the first of the next week. A closer look at a couple of these PSAs. Here, the ERCs along the Sierra Front are pretty high for the time of year, right along that historical maximum. Nudging up on the 97th percentile, and further south and east over southeast Utah, where we have seen some initial attack fires, the ERCs are right at average for the time of year. This morning's satellite image is showing clear skies across the geographic area in the entire west. So for this afternoon, continued warm and dry air mass with zonal flow. Not much to say about the forecast today. No high-risk triggers expected out there. The winds for this afternoon should be pretty light for most of the geographic area, but some gusty winds are possible along the higher elevations here of the central Utah mountains. Minimum relative humidities are quite low over Nevada, below 10%, just slightly higher over Utah and a little bit higher even over Idaho and western Wyoming. On Sunday, the dry air mass continues across the geographic area. Again, no high-risk triggers are issued. We will start to see gusty winds pick up over far western Nevada on Sunday, and minimum relative humidities continue to decrease across the geographic area. On Monday, we'll start to see a low pressure dropping into the Pacific Northwest, or right along the Canadian border really, that will increase winds over much of western Nevada. We'll also see the high pressure centered over the Four Corners area, and we can start to see some moisture moving up into the desert southwest and possibly the very southern tip of the Great Basin. We could see some isolated storms beginning on Monday. So again, winds expected to pick up over much of western and northern Nevada, even along the Snake River Plain and the central Idaho mountains on Monday, but high-risk triggers just issued for western Nevada where the fuels are drier. And then the temperatures shown here on the right, pretty warm, 107 down south and in the mid-90s in the central valleys. 3-day precip totals are shown here. Not anything expected really in the first 3 days, but we will begin to see some very isolated storms possibly move into far southern Nevada beginning on Monday. On Tuesday, the moisture will move further northward into Utah from the south as the ridge scoots just to the east. We'll also see continuing gusty winds over western Nevada. So on Tuesday, increasing thunderstorm activity over Utah. And on Wednesday, a more significant a surge of moisture up into Utah, possibly far eastern Nevada, and clipping maybe southern Wyoming here for increasing showers and thunderstorms. Some thunderstorms are expected to be wet, with dry conditions further north and west. On Thursday, some of that moisture will linger, although it begins to move off to the east as increased westerly and southwesterly flow move into the area. So decreasing thunderstorm activity on Thursday. And then more of the same on Friday as that low off the California coast moves a little bit further inland. That drier southwesterly flow will move into Nevada and parts of western Utah for further decreasing thunderstorm activity. But it looks like some moisture does linger in eastern Utah for continuing thunderstorms there. And we'll see what's happening in Idaho at that time frame as well. The 7-day precip totals are shown here, looking for another pretty good little monsoon surge up into far southern Nevada and Utah, and just a little bit, some isolated storms there in western Wyoming, starting mainly on Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. The extended forecast for September 4th through the 10th puts us back into a warm and dry pattern across the Great Basin. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.